evening to whoever is listening, whoever tunes in and joins in live. This is my second live today. I've never done that before. Never gone live twice in one day. But a little bit earlier, I was doing some oil painting and I decided that I wanted to try and squeeze in another pencil drawing session as well, because I had one earlier on during the week on my live sketching hour in my community, The Artist Path. And during that hour, we were all sketching live images, photos of Michelangelo's David, the absolutely epic statue, masterwork, masterpiece by the great Renaissance artist himself. And I selected a bunch of photos to work from, and there were some really good ones, and I didn't get to finish them as I was doing the live call and the live sketching. So for anybody watching later on, I'm just doing some very quick warm-ups just for a couple of minutes before I continue with this drawing. And I'm trying to get this video in, this live in, before the light fades on this Saturday afternoon as it approaches early evening here in sunny England. Not so sunny today. So I just wanted to pick up these sketches and go again and give it another shot and attempt to finish one of these large A3 pages. So I'm just going to finish up doing my little warm-up, and then I'm going to dive straight back into these poses where I'm going to be focusing on the lighting, drawing around the form, the contour, and the light and tone, the light and shade. So I've been doing this for a couple of minutes now. I'm almost done, and then I'm going to continue. And I'll check the chat from time to time. It's not right in front of me, it's just over my shoulder, but I will pull back and have a look and see who's joined. Feel free to ask a question or comment. Let me know where you're listening in from, and let's get straight back into it. So, yeah, as I mentioned, there was a few poses that I was working from. Well, two that I'd started working from, but there's a few images, a few photos, which I was using as reference, and I'm going to just continue my sketching process with those. Got some very light background music in for the time being on Epidemic Sound, which I subscribe to. You probably won't be able to hear it, but it just adds a little bit of atmosphere. So let's see. There is a lot of really beautiful parts of the anatomy that you can see from the sculpture. So I'm just going to go over some of this second view that I was sketching the other day. Tighten up some of the contours before I move on to a third sketch and ease myself into it. Just going to see if anybody's here. Hello, Sammy. How are you doing? Afu, how you doing, man? Saris, hello. Thank you all for joining. Great to have you here. Yeah, feel free to let me know what you're up to today and where you're listening in from. This is my second live of the day, which I've never done in my life before. It's crazy. But I just thought, you know what, why not? I've got the day to myself. I did an oil painting one earlier, and now I'm going to do this pencil one for about half an hour, 40 minutes, depends how much of this light coming in through the window I've got left. I doubt I'll have too much of it, but let's see. So it can be really fun, enjoyable process sketching marble statues. And this is the first time that I've attempted to sketch David, Michelangelo's David. I've been to Florence twice, where he's located, the statue. But on both occasions, I wasn't able to view the epic statue. I remember on one day that I was there, I really wanted to go, but it was too close to the end of the day. And from what I heard, the queues were enormous. So I decided to, I think, opt for some public sketching instead. And I sketched with some Italian animators in one of the famous plazas there in Florence. So the view that I'm looking at the moment is like, it's from below, he's twisted, his torso is really in focus, but also his legs. And I want to be aware of, because I'm looking at photo reference, I want to be careful that I take into consideration any distortion from the camera. I'm just going to use a darker pencil for this. And try to make sure I get the proportions right. Now, the sketchbook itself is lying quite flat on the paper, on the table, I should say, but I've propped it up with, I've literally just opened my wallet up and put it underneath just to give it a little bit of elevation. So it will help me check my proportions better rather than looking at the flat sketchbook from an angle, which makes it really hard to judge correctly how the length of everything corresponds with everything else. The measurements, the correct measurements, I should say, and proportion checking. I think it's always better to have the sketchbook slightly elevated. Even better if you can have it at an angle closer to your face. I've noticed I made a bit of a mistake here last time that I want to correct. So we've got hips here, and I think this part of the anatomy is swinging out a bit too far. So we come in here, break that down just a little bit. But yeah, I really wanted to get in a second sketching session this week. I used to do pencil drawing every single day for a period of time. And it's so much fun when you're just picking up that bit of daily momentum, even if you're just getting in, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes. It's still something, you're still putting those muscles and hand-to-eye coordination to good use. I don't think I want to go too far down with the legs, because I was actually thinking of bringing in another sketch at the bottom of the page somewhere, and maybe focusing on a different part of the figure. So I'm going to move back up. There you go, you can see my wallet. Back up towards the head, and gonna hold my sketchbook in place and really focus on the anatomy here, because it's a really nice view looking up at him. It almost looks like a heroic figure, as I'm sure that's how he was supposed to be portrayed. And let's see, I think I'm gonna make a little bit of room for his ear here, and I might have to push his hair out somewhat. But we're looking up at the head, so Just gonna lightly map in some of these areas. But as I was mentioning earlier, I'm not sure if anybody was there when I mentioned it, but I started these sketches on Wednesday morning on my weekly live session where anybody can join live, but rather than just on chat, they can actually interact with video and voice, and they can draw along and they can show their work if they like, and the conversation can go anywhere. We try to keep it to art, but sometimes it goes into life and talking about where people are from and stuff like that. What it's like to live in different parts of the world as an artist. But yeah, I just wanted this second session to add a bit more to what I'd done previously. Just going to check who's here. Hi Emily, how are you doing? Hi Vesna, thank you for joining. Let's see what Matthew said. Never seen the David either. I've been to the chapel to see Michelangelo's ceiling. Yeah, the Sistine Chapel is unbelievable, isn't it? It's absolutely epic. Stunning. I remember I didn't want to leave, but I think there was a bit of pressure. I'm just going to use my electric sharpener. There was quite a bit of pressure from the people working inside to usher people along, from what I remember, so you couldn't spend too long marveling at the incredible works, but definitely soaked as much of it up as possible. It's absolutely incredible, isn't it? And from what I remember as well, I might be wrong, but you couldn't take photos. No photos or videos when I went. But yeah. And I've painted a mural that is on the ceiling before in Brazil. And to be fair, some of it was like, it's probably about 10, 15 meters across. It wasn't in great detail, the bit that was on the ceiling above, but just doing it for a few hours, I just noticed how awkward it was and how much my neck was aching at the end of each session. So I can't imagine what Michelangelo must have gone through doing that for months. Was it years or months? A very long time. Painting almost like with his head and neck arched all the way back. It's quite an incredible feat. Yeah, but I noticed it with just 2 or 3 days of mural painting. So not only is it incredibly visually stunning, but it's also physically and mentally very impressive. And for the first time, I've just got some very faint background music on. Before I was just doing it in complete silence. You might not even be able to hear it, it's that quiet. But just for those really quiet moments, I don't know, some people might prefer the absolute silence and the sounds of pencil on sketchbook. Let me know what you prefer. So I'm just getting a little bit of this hand in. It was very blocky the way that he sculpted it. Very thick, large knuckles on the thumbs. Didn't quite give myself enough space. But when I go back to Florence, absolutely, I will see the statue. I'll make sure it's one of the first things that I do. And I'd really like to paint there too. Like, I think plein air painting in Florence is definitely on the bucket list on the return. It's probably my favourite city in Italy that I went to. Am I going to put the second arm in? Why not? To figure out the correct placements. I think the wrist is about here. Elbow comes down around here. And that's definitely not an angle. It's curved and blocky. Is that too long? Maybe it's a fraction lower the wrist. Let's see. Maybe I'll just put a very light contour shape so I can just move on to a fresh sketch. Yeah. And potentially come back later, but let's block some of this in anyway. Get some of those forearm muscles. I forgot what they're called. Need to learn them. Yeah, it's definitely a bit higher. Oh, hi Vesna, yeah, what's up? What else is on my bucket list? Well, this year I would really like to visit Finland, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania and just go in a straight line down. I'd also like to visit Georgia. Very soon I will be going to Serbia for the first time, but it will be quite cold. And I'll be traveling very, very light, so I probably won't be doing plein air painting on this occasion. Not with an easel anyway. I can do some sketchbook stuff. And where else? I really want to go to Norway. I've wanted to go for a long time. See a bit more of Scandinavia. I would love to go to the Faroe Islands. Went to Iceland last January and I was looking at the Faroe Islands. You can go, it's easier to go from Norway or Iceland. And there's lots of other places. I'd still like to visit Central America. I've been to South and North, but not Central. Costa Rica, Mexico. Places like that. And see as much of Europe as possible, because when I first started traveling, I missed a lot of it. I just wanted to go far away and try something completely different. So I went to Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, based myself out there. But there's so much beauty in Europe. So, just going to get this underside plane on David's face. So we're looking up underneath, which is a little bit tricky. And his mouth wraps around, and the hand starts, the finger pointing comes from here and it sort of wraps around a little bit like this and down. To the knuckle. definitely running out of natural light. So probably go for another 20 minutes or so until it starts to get really difficult to see. I'd rather do the pencil drawing lives in natural lighting. I think it's just nicer than an artificial light, but maybe I'll do that too at some point. For my oil painting one earlier, I did have to have a bright light shining on the canvas panel, because where the easel was positioned, even though it's not far from a window, it's still a little bit dark when it's this kind of cloudy, overcast weather that we've got right now. It looks like he's holding a kind of cloth in his hand. So I'm just going to get this finger in, get that knuckle in. It's like a bent knuckle. And yeah, it's like some kind of material that he's holding. You can't see the underside of it. It's like hidden behind the palm of the hand, hidden inside. There's like this wrap of light and shadow. Lots of very clear muscle definition in the forearms. Gonna block in the shadow shapes of the eye first. We'll check the chat in a minute. I don't know if anybody is still here or if somebody new has joined, but I'm going to check. Just going to get a suggestion of his mouth in ever so slightly. It is getting a little bit hard for me to see exactly what I'm doing, but we'll keep going for a little bit longer. And then we have his shoulder up here. Perhaps that's a little too long. These statue references are always, for me anyway, a lot of fun. because it is almost like you've got a high definition model, but they're always well lit, so you get a really nice sense of the form and light and shadow. You can get on the model in life drawing if it's well set up, but not always. So let's see, I'm gonna check the chat. Oh, New Zealand is gorgeous. Yeah, I've lived out in New Zealand before. It's really such a beautiful country. That's where I learned how to do plein air painting with my friend Sam Earp. Beautiful country. I can actually return. I can return pretty much whenever I want there. Oh, cool, man. Just reading the comments. Yeah, making art with silver's epic. And silver's been shooting up in value lately, massively. Do I turn a light on? Do I put some artificial lighting on this? I might have to. Just continue for like another 10 minutes or so. Yeah, I think I will. Bear with me. But I'm gonna try and put it a little bit further away from the sketchbook. So just a second. Okay, there's a lot more light now. That makes things a lot easier. Can now see all my glaring mistakes. So, let's get this arm correct. Cut us off a little earlier down here. And there's a big shadow shape that drops down. Just looking at this is making me want to open up a book on forearm anatomy, because there's so many little like muscles that he's managed to carve into the, I think it's marble. It's just unbelievable. Add a little bit more to his face. Let's see. So get the planes underneath. It's definitely in shadow. Might be a little bit too low down. And it's got quite a small mouth. It's got a chin. And then there's a lot of soft light. It's crazy because the closer you look at it, it's like some of the marble is so smooth. It's like they make it resemble skin, like actual realistic person. It's incredible. Went a little bit strong here. And let's get the clavicle right. Too much for a straight line. Just going to check the time. So broadly speaking, this shadow area, I can probably wrap around this way. Just check that I've got it. Mostly in the right position, which I think I have. And trying to pay attention to the shifts in the muscles and then wrap, because it seems like, depending on where the muscles are, the contours and the lines move around differently. The light wraps around the form differently in different areas. Smooth out some of those lines. Hi there, I don't know what your name is, SK127, but thank you very much. What's your, if you don't mind sharing your name, so I can say hello to you properly. If you don't want to share it, that's absolutely fine, but thank you. Yeah, Vesna, definitely check out Silver Punk's silver channel, his art channel, where he's making silver artworks. It's very nice. quite unique as well. It's the first time I've seen the only sort of artwork I've seen on silver, really, apart from people wearing necklaces and stuff like that, is like actual silver coins from the royal mints. Sometimes they have like different series and stuff. Like in England and the UK, they've got a royal beast selection where I think there's dragons, lions, what was the dog? There's, some kind of hound, and was there a unicorn one? But yeah, like mythological beasts that are associated with the British Isles. So maybe, Matthew, you can try and get your coin, a design minted on silver coins. You probably earn a fortune for that. If you can get commissioned by the royal family or whoever it is, the mint. I feel like I've gone a little bit too narrow here. His hips. This is actually quite fun. I'm actually enjoying this. I feel like, yeah, this is the first time I'm doing a live, second time in a day, but still this morning I was really like, oh God, I know I should be doing it. I said I was going to do one. But I was feeling that resistance for sure. Did it, and it just made me want to do another one with pencil drawing. So I think the more I do it, the more it's just going to get very natural. And I'll find out if I can have, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but maybe through my webcam showing me as I do this. But I'm not sure in the vertical format if I can. We'll look into it. So I think I really need to learn the muscle names because I want to describe the muscles that I'm drawing, but I've actually forgotten a lot of them. I need to refresh my memory. Definitely drew the outside of his thighs a little bit too wide, high up. So just cutting back in. Trimming them down slightly. Do sometimes have a habit of drawing the legs a little bit too big. These giant roots. Sip of tea. I've got a brand new tea that I've never tried before. It's called hibiscus, but it's actually pretty good. It's quite fruity. Full of vitamin C apparently. So I think I'm going to go over some of the contours for this guy, for this shot of David. And one thing I noticed actually was I have done his ear too small, so I'm gonna lift. I have to completely take it out and put it back in, which is absolutely fine. So it's more like it starts here. Get his earlobes in as well. And I forgot what the other parts of the ear are called. Earlobe, not earlobes. I'm only drawing one ear. I think it's begins with H. What's it called? On the tip of my tongue, but it'll come to me. So yeah, I'm going to strengthen some of the outline now, the outline contours around him before I move on to starting a different pose, and I won't take too long on it. This one I've just decided to add a little bit more to what I did earlier. One thing I did as well, the reference I'm looking at, the hand is just slightly lower, like the finger is pointing at the chin, so just got the positioning slightly wrong there, but it's fine. Fine for now, anyway. Because I don't want to spend too much time on this particular one. And you might be able to hear screaming seagulls in the background. It's because I'm living in Brighton in England, and I'm quite close to the sea, relatively close, about a 10-minute walk. But there's seagulls everywhere, and they're very loud. Much prefer the little birds. This actually could be forearm muscle. I think it's slightly higher. Anatomy is hard, but it's still fun. Like, the more you do it, the more you get into it. A lot of people find it really intimidating at first. Probably not as much as perspective drawing, but still there is a lot to learn. But yeah, it's just every session that you do. And this is basically anatomy practice too, not just light and shadow. There's so much that you constantly discover. It's crazy. I'll check the chat soon. It's actually really fun as well. I don't usually sketch in a large A3 sketchbook, but these are some from a model, a live model. But I've got so many pages left in here, so these are more from a live model. It's of a woman. This is from a session in Brighton. Again. It's a model called Liberty. A sergeant sketch that I started but didn't finish. Oh, this is another page I don't think I've shown anybody before as well. It's John Singer Sargent studies on one page. Anyway, back to drawing. Yeah, I definitely want to. I feel like it's a really good opportunity to do like multiple sketches on each page because they're so big. And you can have fun with the composition, do different sketches in different areas and stuff. So I want to put something down here. I'm not going to be able to do like a whole body, but I'm going to select something. Let me see what other poses I was working from. Was there a back view? Maybe I can just get his head in, study of his head and neck. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So, what do I need? Got the blending stump, sharpen this pencil. Both of these. Check the chat. Let's have a look. Oh, thank you, Matthew, man. Yeah, you should definitely get into pencil drawing, like, a little bit when you can. A bit more here and there. You can just sketch stuff. I mean, you can use it just to sketch your ideas if you don't already and stuff. I'm sure you must do a little bit. Oh, that's amazing. Well done, Vesna. Glad you're getting into it. That's really cool. Yeah, you should both go for it, absolutely. And, you know, feel free to join my free community as well. Artists post their work in there, and I host one live session a week where everybody can talk. And if they want, they can go on camera too, and they can share their work and stuff. And it's quite supportive. Very zen, amazing. Queen's Beasts. Yeah. Yeah, you should go for it, mate. Absolutely. Look into it. Why not? It could be like, you can make a video out of it as well, like trying to be the artist to design the next, well, be the King's Beast now, I guess. But yeah, why not? They must commission artists a ton, like thousands. You'd be able to, I'm sure. It'd be definitely worth looking into. Yeah, I'm just going to put a study of the head around here, just like a close-up to fill in that little left corner. So the head is kind of like a little bit at an angle, and it's from underneath, so it's going to be a really tricky one to do, and then his neck. So I'll get started on that in a sec. Yeah. Honestly, sketchbooks are amazing, and you can have so much fun with them as well. People get a little bit too precious with them, but they're, they're for exploring ideas and practicing. It's like a training ground, so you can do what you like. It's brilliant. And people should just, just do it a little bit more often. And also, you don't have to do anything that's really heavily focused on study. It could just be brainstorming ideas and doing random stuff that comes into your mind and stuff. Okay, so let's see. So, it's a really tricky pose, this one, like the angle. It's like you're a tiny child looking up at a 8-foot tall person from pretty close to their body. So I'm going to aim for the blocking the shadow areas first, actually. Let's see. Let's map in a little bit of the larger shapes. So I'm looking at the larger masses of shadow, but also like the negative space, and how much, trying to measure the gaps in between other shapes. For example, this shadow area around the fulcrum of the nose. There's like quite a short distance between the shadow area of the eye and, let's see if I can get this top of the eyebrow position correct. Wraps around and the eye itself. It really looks really interesting from this point of view. You can see the upper eyelid. And then there's just the tiniest bit of his forehead visible, so small, until his curly hair kicks in. And then again, I need to capture the underplane of the nose. I'm going to put it in light shadow to begin with. Try and get that three-dimensionality. A little slightly too strong arch. And most of the hair is in shadow. It's just the very top where the light is hitting that isn't. So I'm also squinting my eyes when I'm looking at the reference, so I can more easily see the light and the dark shapes. It's helping me simplify what I'm looking at. We'll check the chat in a minute, see if there's any other comments. The mouth appears really small, so I'm just mapping in the shadow areas. And there's a part of his chin that's got a nice little highlight, and then it starts with a slightly harder shadow, cast shadow here, and then a softer core shadow. Get the underside of his chin correct. Then about the start of his neck. Get his ear in the right position, so it's quite high up on this. As we're looking from so far down below, appears really high up. A beautiful arching, I forgot the name of the neck muscle. It comes from behind his ear. Actually, I've done it a little bit too large there, but it's got this lovely arch. And then it tapers down. Just check the comments. Oh, yeah, the time zone is tricky for sure. I know. I mean, I might do another one at a different time, but I mean, you could always, there's a couple of artists in there who are in the States, and they do, so I post reference photos that I draw from on the live session. And anybody's free to follow that themselves as well and use the same references to draw from. And if they don't attend live, some of them will post later on. They will just post it on the thread, the work that they did, and they just sort of do it in their own time. So you can ask for feedback and stuff, or just post it. But yeah, potentially down the line, I will consider what else I can offer the community, or have some other options available. Right, before I get distracted by details. I need to continue just mapping in some of these larger shadow areas because there's only a little bit of light off the lighter planes on the top, a little bit here and there, lower down. So just going to get some of these in, stroking in one direction, trying to get nice even clean strokes just with a light pressure. So my phone battery died, so I've now plugged it in, so it went dead for a minute, so I've just had to move the camera just while it charges for a few minutes, but I can hold it with one hand and yeah, talk and continue sketching whilst it charges. I did not realise that my phone battery was burnt through so quickly. Must have quite a few apps open. So I'll just hold it in my hand for a few minutes and continue. So it might be a little bit shaky. Just makes it all the more authentic, right? Is anybody still here? I think one person, but I don't know who it is. Well, as everybody said, really appreciate the comments, guys. Yeah, just checking seeing if I've missed anything whilst the phone charges. No, I haven't missed anything. Cool. So I'm just gonna move the charger a little bit over to one side and continue. If I hold this in place for a few minutes, it should be alright for me to go for like another 5-10 minutes or so. And be careful not to go too far up with these half tones. Make sure I allow enough room for the light parts of the form. Gonna get some very subtle shadows on just below the cheekbone. Again, just sketching very, very lightly. So this is this the light? Yeah, 64 minutes. It's longer than the one I did earlier, which is pretty good. I'll check the battery in a minute. Take out some of these construction lines that I put in earlier. Get his nostril in. I've got a random playlist on Epidemic Sound on. It's meant to be ambient fantasy, but I'm not sure what this is. But yeah. It's the first time that I've got a little bit of background music on. and it's royalty free because I've got a membership subscription with them. But it's music I've never heard before. So I'm not consciously being a DJ. It's quite random. So let's check the battery. What are we on? 12%, that's better. Give it up to 15% and then I'll plug it back into the original position and I'll be able to see what I'm doing properly. I wonder what happened to the stream as my phone battery died, because it kept running, which is interesting. So I wonder what was visible on the screen. Maybe it just froze temporarily or something. Get some of the trapezius traps in. Let's check. 13%. After this as well, I'm going to head to the gym for an early evening session. And then come back and get to work on the next YouTube video. There's a lot of work behind that. Thank you, Vesna. Thank you for joining. Yeah, it must be quite early in the day for you, or the morning. I imagine it's probably morning, like 9 AM or something. But yeah, thank you for joining. Hope you have an amazing day. And I hope you do lots of art, or some. %. Okay, I can unplug it now. Gonna be a little bit shaky. Also get my tripod back into position. And let's see. Just the position. I think that's sturdy enough. Can you see the head? Yeah, just about. Just shift the sketchbook up a little bit. Cool. Right, I'll probably go for like another 5 minutes or so. Just wrap this guy up, this sketch. Five to 10 minutes max, final little push. Yeah, the more I sketch, definitely the more I feel like I want to do. There's just so much opportunity to push, really go in and try and map out the values, the subtle changes. Little pockets of occluded light, cast shadows. Actually, his hair is a little bit bigger, I think. There's room for more on top. He's got a very interesting curly hairstyle, this David. And I feel like I need to sharpen my pencil again. I reckon final couple of minutes before, I mean, I haven't been tracking the time. I keep saying 5-10 minutes. Let's see. So easy to get carried away with time when you're not actually watching the time and you're just involved in the art process of practicing and focusing on some drawing and painting. This music sounds a bit creepy. So the background behind is the room, and it's like really high ceilings, but it's in like quite a dark value. It's actually, yeah, it's quite dark. So I'm just going to put a suggestion of that in around him. I'm just going to skip the track on Epidemic Sound. I don't know what they're playing. What is this? Whisper incantation. Right, interesting. Skip. Something sunset. Sounds very meditative. I'm just going to check the chat. Who's here? Is anybody here? 2 people. Feel free to ask any question or let me know how you're doing. Just gonna soften some of these shadowy areas. I want to keep some of those lines. I'm not going to completely blend them out, but just in some areas, just pick up a little bit of extra tone here and there. Can cover a larger area with this blending stuff. This music sounds like very chilled out Native American music. I don't know why I'm thinking Native American. That's what I imagine it to be. Or maybe like Tibetan. It's meant to be ambient fantasy. Sounds more spiritual. Very, very chilled out vibes. What we can have next? Something very similar. I wonder if I just switch it to some fantasy music, what's it going to give me? Laid back. I'll go a little softer. The shadow areas, the back end of his neck here. And probably just strengthen the outer contours. A little bit. Should I push the background a little bit further? Just a little bit. And put the lightest suggestion his pectoral chest muscles. Even though they're running off page, it's all good. And there's whatever cloth he was holding up in his hand, it comes out here, but I'm not going to bother with that, I don't think. Unless, his hand is in. You can see his hand. But the way his hand is positioned, I'd only be able to get the top part of his knuckle in, so it's not really worth it. Final little touch-ups, and I think I'm going to wrap things up and get myself ready for the gym. Looking forward to getting in the gym this evening and then coming back and getting back to work in the zone. Great Saturday. Got my food chopping earlier. Actually, one thing that I want to do is just make some of these light planes a little bit clearer on the top. Just slightly. Oh, thank you, Matthew. Yeah, thanks for attending, man. Appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing your latest videos on your channel. Have an amazing evening. Right, I think, is my battery about to go? Almost. Yeah, I should probably, let's go for one more minute. I'm sure I said 2 minutes about 15 minutes ago. But yeah, my phone is back down to 7% and it cut out last time, so I should definitely wrap things up. Let's just go a little bit heavy on the shadow here. End of this track is the end of the stream. So, well, having said that, this track could be like 10 minutes long. I don't actually know. Get those straight lines in. All right, is that the end? Almost. It's calming down. Last strokes. Cool, amazing. All right, thank you everybody who joined. I'm going to leave it there because my phone battery will die and I'm just going to get carried away with the time. And the stream will be lost forever. So hope you have an amazing weekend, Saturday night, evening, day, wherever you are in the world. And hopefully see you all again. Wow, I've been going for an hour and a half. This is cool. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. and I'll talk to you later.